During apartheid, there were many, many children detained without trial. When I started working in the courts, I saw children who'd been beaten by the police, bitten by police dogs, and they could even be whipped as a punishment by the court. So I really realized that things had to change. Later, when I was working for Lawyers for Human Rights, we ran a campaign called Free a Child for Christmas, and we managed to get 260 children out of prison that year. When apartheid came to an end, that was a time to dream. That was a time to think about what would a good country do about children who got into trouble with the law. And when Nelson Mandela made his first speech in Parliament, he said, "We will empty the jails of children." And he really meant it. And then I was asked to chair a committee that drafted a new law that said what would happen to children who came in trouble with the law. When I started working, there were 10,000 children held in prisons in any given year in South Africa. Now there are less than 1,000. So a lot of my work has really been about trying to keep children out of prison through writing laws that could steer them away from the courts and the prisons, and rather send them to programs where they would learn about the difference between right and wrong and learn to understand that crime hurts other people. What happens when we take cases to court is that we can win rights for a whole group of children and not just the one child that the case is about. A good example of that would be Shafi's case. Now, Shafi was a boy who came from Somalia to South Africa, and we took a case for him to win his right to get papers and to say that he shouldn't be deported without being offered care and protection. And by winning that case for Shafi, we also won it for many other children in his situation. In the Eastern Cape, many children have to go to school in mud huts, broken down old mud buildings. So we brought a case to court for 7 of these schools, saying, please hurry up and build the schools for these children. The government said, well, let's not go to court. We promised to spend hundreds of millions of dollars over the next 3 years building the schools for these children, but also for all the other children in the country that are going to school in mud schools. So we managed to win the case for many children.